let's talk about how I went from being super excited to join the marching band to basically questioning my entire existence. It all started when I watched this anime called Sound Euphonium, and it got me interested and inspired to join the marching band. It wasn't just that that made me want to join, but it reminded me of how I wanted to be a better drummer and make some new friends. You see, the thing is, I've been playing drum set for like 2 to 3 years, and I thought trying out marching band would be a really good way to practice it and play with other people. It sounded really fun, but at the same time, I was really nervous because I'd never done anything like that before. It was like a really new experience. So with all my first day's anxieties building up, I laid down and tried to sleep. It's a drum set. Isn't it supposed to be loud? Right? Oh, it was just a dream. And that was the morning of day 1. In reality, when I showed up and everything, it wasn't actually that bad. The band director and so on introduced who was who and in charge of what and all that stuff. And then we split up into percussion and the pit, which I would learn is where I would play. It's essentially like the sidelines on the field. And then we practiced for 8 hours. Did I mention the band camp was 8 hours long from 8 to 8, 2-hour break in between? And we're supposed to do this for the next 2 weeks? Honestly, I didn't expect that it would be that bad for some reason. And in the moment, I was fine. I could play and do the thing, but after a while, it was really tiring. Though, throughout this whole experience, I found myself really enjoying playing with people. I had never experienced being part of a song. I'd never played in a band before or a marching band. And the only thing I've done even remotely similar is ballet performances and stuff. But music is just a whole different thing, you know? There's something really nice of being able to contribute, even if it's just a little bit, to making a piece of music come to life. Even just playing little exercises with other musicians can be really nice. I really liked doing that. Besides that, everyone there was also really nice. Like, the people there were super welcoming, all of us who did percussion, and people in the pit, and the drum line, all of us were in it together. And I didn't even know what the frick a pit was before this whole experience. Also, I learned how to march. It was kind of a funny experience, because one of the directors was like, "Okay guys, who here's never marched before?" in like a really enthusiastic kind of way. I raised my hand, obviously, and I looked around. I was the only one raising my hand. Just, what are the chances? Low, I guess, because I was the only one there who'd never marched before. And yeah, that was really fun. Really fun. Can you tell I might have said some stuff in past tense? The truth is, there was a lot of other interesting parts to the whole experience that I didn't really love. First of all, 8-hour days. Honestly, I might have been able to get out of it and just do half of that, but I don't like lying, saying that I have a job or something, so I just stuck it through the days I actually showed up. And so with the 8-hour days comes 8 hours of playing the drum set. Sure, we had breaks here and there and a 2-hour break for lunch, but the experience was still tiring and draining, especially since I'm not really used to that amount of practice. And what was even more tiring was the cymbals. Apparently, because the drum set was in the pit, I was obligated to play these 18-inch cymbals for when the marching band had to do parades and those sorts of things. And the cymbals hurt. They weigh down on your hands and have these old leather straps, and they leave marks all over. And also, I don't work out, okay? I'm a short, meek girl, okay? So what I'm just saying is, imagine me freaking lugging them around everywhere and just, carrying them. They're just super heavy. And at the end of, day 2, I started to get, a sharp pain in my back from it. So, not great. It could also have just been from me playing drum set for a while. It could be all of that, okay? By playing the drum set and cymbals all day, I found myself not loving it. I can play the drums right, and I can play patterns, and it's fine, it's fine. But, at the same time, it can be really unsatisfying, because we were doing that for multiple hours all day. And by the end of it, I found myself going against my own 50% rule, where you balance work and play. It was like I wasn't even playing music anymore, just doing robotic motions. And at some point, I was starting to think I didn't even like the drums. And then I was like, okay, let's practice a pattern from a song I like. And I listened to it, I played along, and I felt like I got all my sanity back. I was like, wait, I do like the drums and I think they're cool, maybe just not in this sort of environment. In the midst of all this struggle, I interrogated myself. Why am I even doing this? Do I even want to get better? What's the point? The truth is, I feel like I'm not an expert at anything, or like I'm exceptionally good at anything, except making above average YouTube videos and drawings. And when I try to improve from intermediate and advanced, progress can feel really frustrating. I feel so freaking average at everything I do, even things I've done my whole life. It's like I'm a 7 out of 10 on my anime list. Good, but not great. And when it comes to the drum set, I found myself not really caring as much as I thought I did. I found myself not wanting to be an expert at the drum set, but instead, I realized I was happy with where I was, because I could play nearly all the songs that I listened to. And when I compared myself to my marching band peers, I found myself surrounded by talented people who were passionate about music, and to where music was their whole lives. And to me, I love music. But like, it's not something that deep down I'm super duper duper passionate about and have like a crazy dopamine rabbit hole for, so what's next? The big question on my mind was, should I quit? I didn't really want to stay if my reason for joining was to get better at the drums, when it didn't really matter to me anymore. And when it comes to the making more friends thing, I could always do it without marching bands. And when it comes to the struggles, the cymbals, and the time commitment and all of that, it started to really weigh on me. Literally, when it comes to the cymbals. But yeah, at the same time, I felt bad for the people there. Obligations. One big thing that kept me thinking and considering staying was all the connections and the people I met. There was an assistant drum professor who helped me set up the school's new drum set. There was a really nice percussion professor, and I also thought everyone else who was part of the staff and all the other members of the band were pretty cool. And I felt guilty for wanting to leave. Like, I was letting them down. But like, deep down I knew that if I didn't really care about marching band and I was just staying because I felt bad, that was not a real reason to stay. Instead, I needed to value my own feelings and accept that it wasn't worth the effort, and that the people there probably wouldn't want me to stay anyway if I didn't want to. And also, they probably wouldn't care too much if I left. It's probably not that serious. And so I quit. They didn't really say anything. It was pretty chill. Marching band is cool. Just maybe not for me. It's strange, really. I went into band camp thinking that I was gonna have so much fun and learn so much about playing an instrument with other people, but instead I just ended up learning more about myself and valuing myself. If you can take away anything, it's that you don't owe people as much as you think you do, and that you should be your number one priority. It's something I've always believed, but it feels different when you put it in practice. And if you want to check out my other cool, thinky, reflecty video stuff, this one right here, this one's pretty good. And also, here's my progress with the trumpet.